Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Drawing with Mr. Sepulveda. I'm Mr. Sepulveda, and on today's episode, we are going to draw a bumblebee. And I'm thinking today I'm going to do this in a couple phases. I'm going to do the first phase, which will be just to kind of sketch out our bee. Okay, and the second phase is the coloring phase. And for the coloring phase, today I'm going to be using some Posca paint markers as opposed to regular paint and a regular brush. You guys can choose whatever colors you want for your bumblebee. If you want to color them in with colored pencils, you can. If you want to color them in with crayons, you can. Alcohol markers, you make the choice for you. I'm going to use paint for mine, or if you don't want to color in at all, you can just follow the first phase of this tutorial, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a big old bumblebee. And I'm going to start off by sketching out the head area. So I'm thinking this is going to be a nice little ellipse, a nice little oval shape for our bumblebee. I'm going to put a little space over here, a little round kind of C for one eye. And I'm going to do another ellipse, another little oval over here for the second eye. So now we got the bee head. Now we are missing some antennae, so we're just going to kind of put them up and then put them across. Okay, so these are going to be the antenna for our bee. And I'm thinking I want my bumblebee to be a pretty big bumblebee. I kind of want him to be a big boy, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start off by drawing a circle. And I'm thinking somewhere under where I think the mouth of the bee would go. So I'm going to start making a rounded circle from here, and I'm going to end it maybe somewhere behind its head right over here. And we're just going to try to connect the shapes. And since this is a sketch, we don't want it to look perfect because we're going to draw on top of this, or if you're going to do line work like we've done in other videos, then you can go ahead and keep this relatively light, pretty light, so that you can erase and kind of draw your ink lines on top of it. Okay. We're going to then do the bottom portion of the bee. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and maybe start right about here in the center area. And I want to make sure that this is kind of more elongated towards the bottom, so more ovular over here. But I also want to make sure that it looks pretty big. So we're going to go ahead and start on this end and kind of work our way down into the bee. That's going to be the bee's bottom area. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to separate both of these two sections in half, okay? So I'm going to kind of keep a portion over here one color. So we're thinking about bees being yellow and black, but you can choose whatever colors you want. I'm just kind of thinking about having a color here and a black color here. So yellow, black, and I'm going to keep the head black is my thought process. I might even go ahead and give him some nice orangey eyes, something really cool looking. And then I'm going to also go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to have a yellow area, and the bottom part's going to be a black area for our bumblebee. Okay, we're going to add in some wings. So let's go ahead and add in some wings. I'll start off with the closest wing. We're just going to bring it out this way, bring it down. I'm going to give it a little bit of a not perfect shape right here, right? Kind of looks like an oven mitt. And then we're going to put some lines in there after, okay, to kind of decorate it. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to put a wing behind this wing, right, because we know they got a couple wings. And then we'll just kind of do the same thing. We'll put in that weird little shape guy in there. And we'll obviously add some details as we go. We're also going to go ahead and give our bumblebee some legs. But I'm thinking we may end up, because I'm going to be painting, I might have to do this in a couple of phases, and I'll explain that as we go. So we're going to have a leg over here, okay, and the leg is going to kind of come down. There we go. It's one leg. We're going to go ahead and add another one over here. I'm kind of using these shapes to break down the legs in a couple parts. And then we can kind of go ahead and put the leg this way. Now, the bumblebee is going to have like 6 legs, okay? So I'm trying to space them out the best way that I can. So we got one here. We'll add another leg right over here in this area. And kind of do one of these guys. We'll kind of flick that bottom line out that way. And then we need two more, so I'll just kind of put another little rounded circle-ish area right here. Kind of flick it back. And then we'll go ahead and put a leg over here. We'll keep the legs pretty small compared to the body. I think it's kind of cute, kind of funny to do it that way. And we'll have this guy right over here, okay? And so if you're sticking around for that first phase of this tutorial, well, we just finished it. We've got our bee, right? Here's our head right over here. I'll just darken that up a little bit. So here's our bee sketch. If you're going to go into the next phase with me, then we are going to go ahead. We're going to either erase lightly and do our line work, or we're going to go ahead and add our paint to it, right? So for this next part, I'm just going to go ahead and do some painting. And what I think is I'm going to put this part in a time lapse, okay? So I'm going to do the entire coloring phase in a time lapse, but I want you guys to hit the pause button because I want you to design your bee, and then we can kind of compare our bees together. You can use whatever colors you want for your bee. They don't have to be black and yellow, right? They don't have to have orange eyes or blue eyes, right? You can give it whatever colors you want. This is your bee, okay? So hit the pause button now, finish up your work, and then continue playing this video to kind of see the time lapse of what my bee turned out to look like, okay? So here we go. Here is the time lapse. All right, boys and girls. Hey, I'm really sorry about that. I'm glad we went into a time lapse though, because the thing that's holding up my iPad, my document camera for right now, it seems to have broken, so that's why it was slipping a lot. So I'm glad we did the coloring phase in a time lapse. And I'm glad I noticed that. But anyways, guys, this is the results of my bee. I can't wait to see what your bees look like. If you guys want to have your parents submit that in through the email that I have down below on this description, feel free to share that, and then I'll show it in the next draw along video. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next video, and just remember, always be kind. Have a good one. Bye.